When we watch soccer, something happens that has nothing to do with soccer and everything to do with it. Welcome to the Golden Ball, where depth psychology and the beautiful game help us play life better. My name is John O'Brien, former World Cup soccer player and sports psychologist. I combine sports psychology tools with sand, symbols, and imagination to help athletes and others perform and understand themselves more deeply.
Hi, my name is Michiel Klerk. I'm a psychotherapist, a lifelong lover of the game of soccer, and the founder of Young Platform.
Hi, and my name is Akke-Jeanne Klerk. I'm a personal development coach and co-founder of Young Platform. Now, what is this podcast about? Let's start with that question.
Well, imagine the stadium roars. The game is about to start. The pressure is on. There's the desire to win, the heartbreak of elimination or the fear of losing. We can encounter an unfair referee, the criticism of the audience. We look at different levels. One is, how do you perform well in soccer, but also the same skills apply to daily life, whether you're a parent, a colleague, a business leader, an artist. What are the psychological mechanisms that allow us to flourish? And then there's a deeper layer. Through the depth psychological lens, we look at deep questions as, what is winning really about? What are the highest values that we live? Because those deeper values really drive the way we engage with the game. They influence us in a deep, very important way. So it's very important to look at that as well. And then through the same mythological, depth psychological lens, we look at the game as a ritual where people come together to see their heroes play out, just like in the old Greek times, where there were heroes and semi-gods. And it's still in us to see the game that way. Fans almost have or sometimes have an almost religious quality to participating and engaging with the game. So for many people, there's a level of personal mythology involved with the game as well, and that goes much further than words easily describe. We're going to look at all of that to make us play the game of life in a more fun and enjoyable way. Welcome to the Golden Ball.
So my relationship with football is really that of a supporter, and the three of us all love the game. And I remember the first time going to a soccer match, Michiel, my brother, suggested to go to the stadium and see if we could get tickets for the game that night. And we went to the Olympic Stadium in Amsterdam. And outside already, the atmosphere was really intense. And my team, or our team, Ajax, was going to play AC Milan, who had just won the Champions League the year before. And there was this buzz all around, outside the stadium, inside. It was really electric, and I was totally amazed by the experience itself. And then Ajax, who is really this small team with this large opponent, played the game, and they won that night. And that was really such a great experience. We were really close to the field. We could smell the grass. People were really feeling it in the stadium all around. And upon reflection, I really asked myself, how do I show up in life when I'm faced with a challenge that seems so much larger than I? Because what I saw Ajax doing that night is they played the game, and they played with courage. They were all in, and there was a certain aesthetic quality to the game. And so the question really is, when I'm faced with a large challenge, how do I respond? Do I respond with fear, or maybe do I shy away from it? Or do I step in and, like Ajax, do I play the game of life with courage? And that experience, I can still feel it. It's still with me. But that really, really sort of sparked my love of the game. How about you? What is your love for the game?
For me, it starts even before the game begins. I just love looking at a soccer field, a big open green space, these clear, broad white lines. colorful uniforms. So whether I'm playing or watching, I still feel it. My skin begins to tingle. My heart beats a little faster. My attention sharpens. This electricity you talked about and excitement. But I think it's also a feeling that something really matters here. Something's about to happen that matters. And soccer to me holds possibility. There's competition, risk, connection, the exhilaration of winning, the pain of losing, and all the meaning we pull from those experiences. So something is at stake, and I love that challenge. I moved to Holland at a young age, 16, and was also at that Ajax AC Milan game as a ball boy, and I was able to watch my heroes from up close. And millions of people around the world like and engage in soccer. So soccer continues to give me a common language, the language of the feet, I say, and that's allowed me to connect with people across cultures and across backgrounds. And that's what I love about the game.
Yeah, that's beautiful, John. And that makes me think wherever I went in the world, I could play with people on the beach of Thailand or in Africa. And you don't need anything besides a ball, and you can connect with people. I fell in love very early on. I played in the streets. I grew up in the Netherlands most of my life. Played in the streets as a young kid. Had a club. I had these fantasies of becoming a professional soccer star, and the ball was my favorite toy. And at home, my father used to tell stories about soccer players. These became these heroic figures. So for me, in my youth, the Dutch team and Johan Cruyff were the heroes that I wanted to become like them as well. And I had dreams about Johan Cruyff, and he still shows up in my dreams. And soccer very often shows up as a metaphor for life. And so it has deeply influenced me, and I still enjoy watching a game and reflecting on it, thinking about it. And I find it a beautiful game, and I find it a great way, a metaphor also for thinking about life. So my two loves, depth psychology and soccer, come together, and I'm really excited to have the time to sit with the two of you and reflect on this.
So same. It's really a joy to be together. And some time ago, when we had this idea, we each said yes to it. I'm curious, really, what made you say yes to it? So, what made you guys say yes?
For me, it was about the opportunity to play, much like you do on the soccer fields. Kind of play in this world of sport, psychology or sports psychology, and depth psychology. Sports psychology traditionally lives in the world of performance, adaptation, different tools, like think about how to focus, how to regulate your emotions, respond well under pressure. And depth psychology just asks totally different questions. Questions about meaning, imagination, memory, symbol, identity. So soccer, I find, lives somewhere in between. It's physical, it's emotional, tactical, and symbolic. And it's both personal and it's a collective experience. So for me, saying yes to this was about an exploration. You know, what can these worlds learn from each other? And what can they teach us about being human and about performing under pressure?
Beautiful. Again, for me, it had to do with creating something beautiful together. I love soccer. I love depth psychology, and for me, they've been always very interwoven. And to imagine soccer as as a mythological display, a kind of a living mythology, and that we can learn so much about living life in an optimal way from the way we see that play out in the field and between the players and the newspaper and the organization and the coach. And I really look forward to just think about it and imagine about it with the two of you.
Yeah, and when we had the idea, I got so excited. It really made me happy. And you know, when there's so much excitement around an idea, sometimes it feels a little bit like a calling, as if life is pulling you in a certain direction. And I felt I was pulled in this direction, almost like it's an invitation to play, like you said as well, John. Like it's an invitation to play with two like-minded people who have the same interest, football and depth psychology. So I'm super curious where this will go in the next few weeks during the World Cup series, because I'm super excited to see what will play out there.